FlyQuest told us they've planted about 3,300 trees so far. Thumbs up to that. That is absolutely awesome. So, FlyQuest, Emily, currently occupying second spot in the LCS. They have impressed many. They have surpassed many's expectations. How do they continue to do that in the second half of the split?
What I want to see from FlyQuest is when they do end up getting, again, like, so all the minutiae I talked about before, right? So like pay more attention to just wave state and stuff like that. But even if you're at a disadvantage, try to pay more attention to things that will help your team succeed. And if they have an advantage, pressing that even harder. Like, I think this is a team that, again, like, wants to play really aggressively, and when they make mistakes, it's because sometimes they're not being aggressive enough. Like, Tyler talked about how, you know, sometimes the best thing in NALCS to do is nothing. Well, I think FlyQuest should always be doing something because they have a lot of players that do want to push in, that want to initiate. Like both of their solo laners want to initiate. Ignar, if you can detach him from the bot lane and have Turtle farming safely, he is going to be your greatest asset, especially in resetting that mid lane wave, because one of the things that kept happening to PoE is that against Cloud9 is that he was getting shoved in by Niski pretty consistently, and then Niski was just constantly roaming top or bot, depending on where they wanted him. So, I mean, unlock Ignar, press your advantages so much more, and then shore up on those like minute details that I talked about previously. And I think that is what can take FlyQuest from like, okay, we're second best in NA, we've like risen above the soup, to okay, we're a legitimate contender for the LCS title.
Tyler, if C9 were to sweep the awards by position for the early MVPs of the split, how many of those titles would FlyQuest at least contend for?
Contend? I mean, if they go 18-0, there is no contending, right? If your team goes 18-0 in such an impressive fashion, there is no close second best. But I agree with Emily where I think, obviously, PoE is the all-star of the team. He's doing like 37% of the overall team damage. His DPM is the highest in the league. He's a monster. He's playing out of his mind. But the real key and the real superstar on the team of FlyQuest, I believe, is Ignar. And I think Ignar, while not as good as Vulcan right now, I think if you can get him roaming, if you can unlock Ignar and have him roaming around the map and putting him in, you know, with mid lane, with PoE, who he has a good relationship with, that's when he unlocks the entire team. And I do agree that, yes, a lot of times doing nothing is the best in LCS when it comes to Baron or it comes to overplaying your hand. But for FlyQuest, a team that I feel knows the basics and knows, you know, the foundation and knows they have the foundation down. Now they have to do more than that. They have to press forward and be more aggressive, and I think Ignar is where that starts.
So, Large S8 in the chat says FlyQuest is the most exciting team in the LCS to watch. I think that definitely will continue into the second half of the split.